Today, Eric de Beric is going to let us know exactly what it's going to take to shut him the hell up. I'm hoping it's something simple, like saying, "Hey Eric, shut up." Did it work?
Whether you believe the Earth to be flat, globular, hollow, concave, or otherwise.
Damn it! And, well, whether you believe the Earth to be a bunch of stupid shit only believed by armchair quote-unquote scientists on YouTube, or how it actually is, I'm going to be saying a bunch of stupid shit that no rational person could possibly believe. But plenty of nutjobs with absolutely no concept of how science works or how to function in reality will believe without question, and buy all my books. For I am Eric Dubay, master of morons. Something like that, right mate?
The freedom to independently travel and explore the Earth, from the North Pole to whatever exists south of the South Pole, to any and everywhere else, should be a fundamental and unalienable right.
To the extent that you aren't impinging on other people's rights, it pretty much is. You can't go into other people's houses and start sifting through their underpants drawers, and you can't go into top secret military sites, at least not without joining that organization. The vast majority of the planet is completely available to you with a bit of paperwork and the right equipment for some of the sketchier places.
Military vessels near the North Pole and Antarctica have repeatedly barred independent teams of explorers from traveling into these heavily patrolled and restricted waters.
What? What are you talking about? There have been loads of non-governmental expeditions onto and across the South Pole, successful and otherwise. The one that stuck out to me was Erik Larson, who has done many such expeditions to the north and south, but in 2012 attempted to do it on a bicycle, but shockingly only made it about a quarter of the way there. I can attest to this being impossible, as I tried to cycle to the next town over after a piss-up, and fell off no less than 14 times, demonstrating that cycling any distance is completely impossible, alcohol consumption clearly being an irrelevant factor.
The Antarctic Treaty prevents all independent travel south of the 60th degree south latitude.
Well, that's a fucking lie. This is the 60th degree south latitude, and it is what we would call Antarctica and its seas, and people are absolutely allowed to go there with the correct permits, because the Antarctic Treaty has basically nothing to do with travel and everything to do with the exploitation of the region. Basically, not mining, no military action, no things that would ruin the last unfucked up part of the planet that basically everyone has agreed to, so smaller things can be done properly, and people do that shit, including exploring the region all the time, independent of any government controls other than having, permission that you can get. The problem for flirts is that if something requires any effort whatsoever, they just won't do it. I mean, I have to read a document and sign it? I can't read or make coherent markings on paper.
Where rebels like Jarl Andahoy and his team have been repeatedly turned around at gunpoint, jailed, and fined for daring to attempt.
You make it sound so sinister on everyone else's part, but the man just repeatedly tries to go there without the appropriate permissions or the insurance needed, which is really important in case you sink your fucking boat, epic foreshadowing, to film his TV shows. And he literally got people killed when his boat sank. And the only thing that happened to him after all that was, after a series of trials and appeals, he was fined and sentenced to 30 days of imprisonment. Whoop-de-fucking-do for the great secret ice walls of secrecy. And the turned around at gunpoint thing? What, you mean being told off to piss off by people whose job it is to be armed and tell people without the right paperwork to piss off? If someone points a gun at you and just tells you to go away instead of, shooting you and burying you on the ice wall, frankly, assuming that did happen, well, it hardly sounds like the actions of a clandestine organisation that desperately wants to stop anyone doing fucking anything.
What is so important in Antarctica that 53 of the most powerful countries in the world have agreed to patrol and enforce harsh restrictions and penalties on anyone who attempts to independently explore it?
You can independently explore it. The idea that you can't just is not true. And again, they do it to demilitarize Antarctica, to establish it as a zone free of nuclear tests and the disposal of radioactive waste, and to ensure that it is used for peaceful purposes only, to promote international scientific cooperation in Antarctica, to set aside disputes over territorial sovereignty. And you'll notice, not to hide big flat earth proof because we smart. Funny how they always leave that part out.
Why has the entire continent of Antarctica and everywhere else on Earth below the 60th south parallel been caged off from us?
I don't know how many times I can say that it hasn't, but it hasn't. You can go there. All you need to do is get a permit from the member state of which you are a citizen of, or more likely, you just book a place on one of the Antarctic cruises that go there all the fucking time. It's not that hard to do. No one will stop you unless you don't have the permits and such. Fuck. You could even fly over the whole place if you really, really want to. Again, you would just have to organise it or find someone who already has. But we all know the reaction that you lot will have to this. Oh, well, if I do that, they'll actually stop us and take us down or disappear us or whatever. And sure, you can believe that, but it does feel a lot like an excuse to never actually try to prove that your shit is wrong. But that would just be too convenient, wouldn't it?
The only way we can experience Antarctica is by being a government employee and working at one of their bases.
Why? Why can you not stop being so consistently and endlessly wrong, Eric? Sure, that's a way you could do it, but to say that it is the only way is simply not true. And honestly, I thought you were going to say that, oh, you can experience Antarctica on a cruise, but they don't actually take you there, or they don't take you close enough, or some other thing you made up about the experience that you haven't been on because you can't stop lying about things you don't understand and haven't even done. And let's just argue that you were totally right and you can only get there under a government thing. Okay then, do that. I'm sure someone with enough determination and the appropriate qualifications could get there and then report back. Oh wait, shit, qualifications. They would actually have to be capable and competent humans. Yeah, I always forget that flat earthers can't do anything right. That's why they're, flat earthers.
Or doing one of their overpriced penguin tours along the Antarctic coast.
Oh, so suddenly we go from you cannot go to this place ever to you could totally do that thing, but it's expensive. Make your fucking mind up, Rick. You constantly contradict yourself, and then you do the shift the goalpost thing. You can't do this thing. Well, you can do this thing, but you have to be government. Well, you don't have to be government, but it's expensive. Next, it's going to be free. You can go all the way across and do pretty much whatever you want with the right permits. You know how it kind of mostly is, apart from the free stuff. But you have to get out of bed, which is illegal. And you know what? Fair point. It really should be.
No one, even these very few humans, is granted the freedom to explore the continent.
What exactly do you mean by that? Because as far as I can tell, that's simply not true. There are caveats like aforementioned permits and such, and you are not allowed to do certain things that would damage the environment or local wildlife. But again, in this century alone, people have literally travelled across the place. They have gone through the South Pole, they have travelled by foot, by ski, by kayak, and so on and so forth. There have been loads of expeditions, so many that to claim that no one has done anything of the sort is either complete ignorance of the facts or just outright denial of them. But you would never do that, would you? No.
So even they are clueless as to what may exist at the furthest southern extents of the Earth.
The only clueless person here is you. Well, that or you're a lying trash man who knows exactly what, when, and who has done these things, but won't ever tell your audience in case they, wonder what all that lying was about.
The world's governments, militaries, media, schools, and literally everyone else except flat earthers claim with conviction and wholeheartedly believe that the South Pole is the southernmost extent of their globe.
That's because, right, that's literally what south means, you fucking doofus. Wait, so do you think that anything beyond the North Pole is more north? What are you, some kind of idiot? No, I mean, more idiot than we thought. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? North and South are literally dictated by the poles. That's how we know what they are and how to find them. It's how it works. So the only person who don't know how reality works is the flat earthers. And, well, it's nice of you to finally admit something that we could all agree on.
And by definition, this must be the case, because to continue traveling southwards beyond this southernmost point is tantamount to traveling northwards.
It isn't tantamount, it's just how it fucking works, you dumb prick. My god, they make the most basic and obvious observations about how reality works and think that they've made some profound statement and cracked the code. I'll be betting he thinks that this is just some ridiculous conclusion as well, even though that's how it works on any fucking sphere. If you have 2 points on either side, when you go past one, you must be traveling towards the other. It's not that hard.
If the Earth is not a globe, however, and is actually an extended level plane, as claimed by flat earthers,
some flat earthers, because don't pretend for a second you guys have a cohesive worldview. You guys are constantly squabbling about how things work in our it's definitely flat, it has to be, even though none of our ideas work, quote unquote models. Although let me guess, anyone who calls themselves a flat earther but doesn't agree with your version of nonsense doesn't get to be a real one and is kicked out of the big brain smart boy club for people who don't think real good. Honestly, I think they'll be dodging a bullet. Hell, if they realise how dogmatic this shit is, perhaps they'll even get a clue and cut out the nonsense. Who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Continuing to travel south of the South Pole would not and could not bring the traveller back north.
And yet that is what happens. Flat Earth debunked. No wonder you desperately need to lie and find any excuse possible not to actually go there and do such a simple and basic thing. Far easier to just sit in your chair and pontificate about how everyone am big wrong because me stupid and can't do an Earth, than to bother to find anything out. Seriously, I can't imagine how unfulfilling such an existence must be for his fans. He gets to enjoy selling books and his other garbage. Oh, the life of a con artist.
On a flat Earth, the traveller would instead continue southwards into unknown southern territories that don't exist on a globe.
You know, south doesn't fucking make any sense on a flat plane, right? Also, lol to your fantasy bullshit, because you constantly go on and on about how the globe is some fantastical thing, and yet it's limited to what it is. But your potentially infinite plane, with its secret nations and villages and fucking whatever else, no, that's reasonable and rational. Here, let's make a quick map. We can put whatever we want anywhere. Look, here be dragons. I mean, you sound like an ignorant peasant from the stupid ages. Might as well go the whole way.
If NASA, the world's governments, militaries, media, academia, and or anyone else involved in maintaining the legitimacy of the globe concept truly wanted to shut up flat earthers once and for all,
we should say, shut up, Eric! Wait, no, we already tried that. And god damn it, man. A, NASA has nothing to do with the Antarctic Treaty, so I don't know what you would expect from them. And B, who wants you to shut up? The world needs its clowns. You fill a vital role in making the rest of us feel way smarter by comparison. You really are doing God's work, my man. You know, apart from the whole being a lazy con man. Although then again,
this is how easy it would be. Allow for independent travel south of the South Pole.
So in order for you to shut up, all they would have to do is allow you to do the thing that they already do. Cool, so you'll be shutting up then, will you? Wait a minute, you made a bunch of videos after this one? That means that you were telling porcupines. That or you don't accept that you can do that. You just have to basically ask. Christ, I bet even if they took away that and any restriction, you still wouldn't actually do it, because it's a trap. They am gonna dead me. But the thing is, they really wouldn't need to. You fuckers are so incompetent, you would definitely dead yourself almost immediately upon getting there. The fact you guys are so lazy is saving your lives. Amazing.
Or live stream a full south to north circumnavigation of the supposed globe, starting in Antarctica and traveling south.
Well, that all depends on what exactly you are looking for, because, well, it's entirely possible to circumnavigate the Earth. But there are caveats, especially when it comes to flight, which you would have to do if you were doing the north-south, Northland, and vice versa version, because it would be extremely difficult to do the whole journey on a single fuel tank. So you really would have to make stops and things, considering that there's a lot of water in that kind of route, probably including some stops on refueling ships. But frankly, I don't see you buying anything but a non-stop flight top to bottom and back again. Although let's be frank, even if we did everything exactly the way you wanted us to, you lot have been shown plenty of other things that can only work on a globe Earth, and it's always immediately CGI though, and then you proceed to ignore it because evidence is only evidence if it supports your preconceived bullshit.
Show the world's flat earthers that traveling south of the South Pole will somehow bring you north.
Oh look, flat earth memes that are stating things that simply aren't true. North-south circumnavigation has been done several times. In fact, you like memes so fucking much, here's one that shows you the routes they took. And okay, you could say, well, that's all just lies. The same way I say yours is lies. But the difference is, my claim is based on historical facts and data, and yours is based on, you really don't want the Earth to be a globe for some asinine reason. I know which I find more convincing, and it's not the one where I have to turn off all my critical faculties to believe it.
At the very least, show us what happens when a plane travels perfectly straight in any direction, starting from anywhere on Earth, for 48 hours.
Wait, why do we need to do anything? Why don't you do that? I mean, you said anywhere and any direction in a straight line. That's a perfect test for a flat earther to prove that the Earth is a globe. I'm sorry, I mean to prove that the Earth is fully a globe. Shit, no. You will do it and it will prove that the Earth is fucking globe shaped, you moron. Shit, it looks like you'll only ever prove that the Earth is the shape that it is. Damn.
If Earth is truly a ball 24,900 miles in circumference, as we are taught, traveling perfectly straight in any direction, starting from anywhere on Earth, at an average flight speed of 550 miles per hour, the globe model claims the plane will circumnavigate the entire circumference and return to its original starting point.
Yeah, but actually doing that is an entirely different question. Aside from the fact that you would have to have a craft that wasn't affected by the weather, didn't degrade, and a multitude of other factors that you would have to account for, because let's be frank, if it were as simple as you are saying, then the actual circumnavigations that happen wouldn't look like this. And if it were so simple, then why haven't you done it? Of course, nothing is so simple that a flat earther can actually do it. I'm just being mean.
On a flat Earth, however, a plane traveling in a perfectly straight line, never deviating left or right, regardless of where it starts or which direction it travels, will eventually reach the Antarctic.
Yet that won't happen, and then I wonder what excuse you will come up for that. Also, so does that mean that the Antarctic is definitely a giant surrounding thing of all the continents? So it should dwarf even the circumference of the supposed globe. So how long is the circumference of the Antarctic? Oh, yeah, that's way smaller than it should be on any kind of flat Earth. Oh, shit, guys. I think the Earth might not be flat. Who knew? Oh, right. Fucking everyone.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the